Hey guys, how's it going today? We're out here with the 2002 Triumph Speed Triple 955i. We just got it a few days ago here, and we did a first impression ride review of it already. So this is the walk around where we go through the specs and you know, the motor, the brakes, torque, horsepower, all that kind of stuff. Started up, listen to the exhaust. Sorry, it's kind of buggy out here tonight. This has got an MHP exhaust from over in England in it, from the UK, and it sounds pretty good. It's got a nice, like, a throaty sound to it, but it's not overly loud. So we'll check that out here a little bit in the video. So we'll flip the camera on and let's get looking at it up close. All right, here we are with the 02 955i. So yeah, this version was made from 01 to 02, and about 2 years on this model. And of course, the Speed Triple was made before that, and it's been made after that. It became the 1050 eventually, and we've had a couple of those here on the channel as well. We had a 13 and a 19 of the 1050. So this is the 955i right here. As you can see, it's had a little scrape right there. Bike's like 24 years old, but it's pretty clean overall. But you can tell that it's had a little tip over there because you can see a little bit of mark on the frame slider there as well. I just washed it, so that water drip is there. A little mark there, so probably a little tip over at some point in the past. Okay, we'll start from the front to the back, and like we normally do, and talk about the specs on this guy. So you got your double front headlights here that work out pretty well, but they could probably use little brighter bulbs in there, put some LEDs in there, but they do work. For night driving, I do like having two bulbs instead of one. That is very nice, better spread and such. These, let's see here, this one has the cowl up here. Deflects a little bit of wind, but it's not great. It's not like you don't have full fairings or anything, but it does deflect a little bit of wind for you. We'll talk about that more on the first ride, I believe. I hope we did. I don't know if we did, but anyway, we're talking about it right now. So I've got the stock mirrors on this guy here, and this has Rizoma bar and Rizoma levers on here. I'm sorry, Rizoma grips. And they're like aluminum, like billet aluminum or something. And they're kind of, it's real grippy right here, but this is kind of slippery, of course, since it's aluminum, I'm sorry. And when I ride, I use the like ice cream cone grip kind of thing. And there's like not much grip here, especially with the leather glove on. So, because I use my first finger here as a bit of a grip. And yeah, so not my favorite levers, but just depends on your riding style and what you do. For me, it's a little makes my hand a little tired, but I can just adjust my riding style a bit to it, and it's been fine. Once I've been on it a few times now, I've gotten used to it. So we've got Triumph branded brakes on this guy, two 320 millimeter discs, Fort Pot calipers. Here's on this side here. They're in pretty good shape for this old bike, aren't they? And they work good. They stop pretty good. Wheels relatively clean. Could use another good washing. I just washed it, but it could be scrubbed again. Just kind of did the preliminary washing on this guy. And the brakes are pretty decent. They're not like modern Brembos or anything like that, but they work out. They work fine to get the bike stopped. Brake feels actually pretty good. It's got a radial master cylinder on here, and the cylinder is a Nissan master cylinder. The wheels are pretty standard, well, almost standard sport bike sizes. This is a 120 front, and this is actually a 190 in the rear. Interesting. The current speeds are also 190s. The current 1050s are. And we have normal forks on this guy because it's an 02. So these are not upside down forks, as you can tell. These are your standard right side up forks. And you know what? They feel pretty good. I was actually pretty surprised. I was expecting this to be a little more old school feeling than I did with the suspension. And it's not bad. They're also fully adjustable. So you got your adjusters down here, and then if you go up here, you've got an adjuster right here and right here for you. So right there, these are compression, I believe it's compression preload and rebound adjustable as far as I'm aware, on the front and also on the rear. Since we're talking about suspension, here's your rear suspension here. Here is your adjusters there, and then your preload is the normal ring style preload right here. That's very common. You can see it right there. And that's a monoshock there in the rear, as usual. Here's the brakes in the back. You got a two-pot brake caliper here in the back, right down there, on a little disc, like a little 220 back here. And yeah, this is a little bit odd for the time. This had a 190 rear tire. This current rubber on here is new. This is a 190/55 17, and it is a, I don't know if you can see it on this side, it's kind of dark, getting dark out here. It's a Pilot, let's see, Pilot Road, is it a 4? Yeah, Pilot Road 4 GT, right there, is what the previous owner put on the rear. This has new sprocket and chain on it, right there. Pretty nice and clean, chain looks nice and new. And of course no quick shifter because it's an older machine. I would consider this a modern classic myself. This is the what you call it, speed hump on here, but I do have the rear seat for this as well, the original rear seat, and it looks pretty comfortable for a pillion actually, though I have not tried it. These levers I believe are Pazo levers. I have some of the documentation for this bike from the previous owner. I believe I bought it from the third owner. The first owner has full maintenance records for the bike while he had it, and he did all these mods. This is all Rizoma stuff, Pazo lever, and the frame sliders and all that kind of stuff. He did all those modifications. So I got all that, all his maintenance records and such. All right, so the motor here, like we started talking about, is the 955i, 955 cc's. It's got about 120 foot-pounds of, about 120 horse on this, which interestingly enough is similar to the 765 Street Triple that we currently have, and I've got the walk around of that up on the channel already too. Might have more videos of that up before this gets out. But yeah, very similar to that, although this has a lot more torque than the current 765 Moto 2 motor. This has like 74 foot-pounds of torque, something like that, and you can feel it too when you're cranking it. You can feel the difference. This has more grunt. It's interesting how all these triples, even these older ones, they sound similar and they sound good. So let's give this a fire up here. Speaking of which, here's what the key cycle looks like. Got a little water drip right there, and we've got about 24,000 miles on this guy, and it looks pretty good for the mileage. I mean, here's the tank on it. Looks pretty nice. Someone took pretty good care of this. It's not in perfect shape, but for this mileage, it's relatively clean. All right, we'll give it a fire up here. And I put a new battery in this, so this has one of the new lithium NOCOs in it with a bunch of cold cranking amps. It's like the $130 one, the more expensive one. All right, let's give this MHP a crank here. It was running before, so it's not totally cold. Here's how the motor sounds. Got a little Spitfire action going on there. Here's what the headlights look like on. Here's your low beams. Here's your high beams. Whew. Doesn't show up that well. It's not that dark yet. All right, here's the motor from this side. The idle sounds like. Runs pretty good. Runs pretty good for a 22-year-old machine. Not bad at all, guys. Not bad at all. I'm going to shut it off so we can talk a little bit more about it. This is a nice machine here, but yeah, these start getting old. I'm probably going to buy new ones of these. These start getting old and they start getting brittle. This guy cracked here, and this side's still good, but I put these are the longer stock ones on there. But yeah, they need it needs new, so I'm probably going to replace those. But yeah, it's just they get old and brittle on these machines. Pretty common thing. Looks like we're missing a little reflector right there. Maybe pick one of those up. This has a steering damper on it right here, which is nice for these to have for these machines. If you're going to go really fast, I don't go that fast, but nice to have a steering damper, so that's cool. We did a radiator flush on this, flushed it multiple times. It's got fresh oil in it, Mobile 1, I believe. And what else did we do? We did a brake flush, fresh fluid in here. You can see how nice and clear it is. Boy, what a difference. I always preach about that on this channel, but make sure you got fresh fluid, even if it's 2-3 years old. Get that fresh fluid in there, and man, does it ever feel, what a difference in feel, you guys. Feels so good. There's like no comparison. Once you've got that fresh fluid in there, your brake feel response is just absolutely excellent. So I think that's about it with this guy. Pretty stock for the most part as far as I know. I think we'll maybe, I mean, it runs good, but you probably could do like check the spark plugs and such on it if you wanted to. Check the air filter. I might be doing some of that. We'll see. We'll see how long we have this bike for. We're gonna do a comparo video. Here, I'll flip the camera around here. So we're gonna do a comparo video with this and the 765 Street. And I got a friend too. He might come up and he's got a 1050, is it a 16, I believe, 1050 speed. So we could do 955 versus 1050 for 765. That'd be a really cool three-way shootout video. And I do like these old bikes. I mean, old, they're not, just a while ago they weren't old, right? But I consider them a modern classic now. And they're a lot of fun to ride. This bike, I think, would surprise you as far as the way it feels and rides. You can pick these guys up for $3 grand, something like that, between $3 and $4 grand, or maybe even a little under $3 if it needs a little work or something like that. But find one with some maintenance history like this one, and yeah, I think you guys can find yourselves a nice cool like road bike, street bike. And if you want something sporty like this, and it's got a lot of torque, the motor feels really good. I really like this motor. I think I like this motor more than the 765 motor, to be honest with you. But the total package on this is older, so the suspension and such and brakes aren't as good as the new 765 RS, of course. But it's a great bike for what it is, especially for the price. I mean, this is less than half the price, even of the used, 765 Street Triples. So, yeah, get yourself one of these and have some fun out on the road for a good price. And if this goes up for sale eventually, we'll see. We'll see. But usually, I'll ride some stuff, make some content, and the ones that I really like, or that do well on the channel, we'll keep for a while. And the other ones will kind of sell, and we'll get more stuff. So, all right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'm getting some bugs out of my hair here. There's lots of gnats out here tonight. All right, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. And check out the new playlists on the channel too. I've got a couple new playlists up, and we'll be making more that kind of gets everything organized from first rides to what is it like to ride this motorcycle, the reviews, the walkarounds, the maintenance videos, all those kind of things are going to have playlists. So check those out if you want to. See you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.